All right, we're officially ready to roll, ready to make this happen. I'm so excited for people to hear from my good friend and one of my mentors in life, in business, Mr. Woody Woodward. I don't know if I've ever called you Mr., but I felt like
no one ever does.
we had to go real serious here and legit to just bring the seriousness to this. This guy is like, he moved away. He used to live in Utah. So we were meeting every single month and we're masterminding and mapping stuff out. He was the person I came to the very first time I did public speaking. I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my goodness, I've done this for years and years and years, but I've never done it where I'm actually getting paid to do it. So I went to him, can you teach me? What do I do? How do I do this? How do I make this happen? And that was, that wasn't that long ago, maybe 4 years ago.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, and then same thing when I wrote my very first book, The Game of Networking. This is the guy that I came to as I wrote that book, and we sat down at Paradise Bakery and we hashed it out for 4 hours, and we took out all the bad, which was only like 2/3 of it, and we kept all the good, which was 1/3 of it. We kept the guts and got rid of all the other stuff. And so this individual is a friend. He's a mentor. He's had one of the greatest impacts on me in this profession of transitioning into coaching. So for me, it's incredible to be able to have him on because I've been able to be behind the scenes on this entire D.R.I.V.E system that you've utilized. And I've actually got to see it firsthand. I saw it firsthand where he went and what was it? I'm trying to think of the exact numbers, but I swear it was like 10 times our numbers. I know you have the exact numbers because it happened, but he helped increase sales for me personally just dramatically. So I thought, who better to bring on than Mr. Woody Woodward for all of you to hear from? And I will tell you this before you get started, get his book. I put it in the title. What's the link again? I'm going to put it right here.
It's drivesalesbook.com.
Drive Sales Book. You're going to want to get his book.
And you want to buy it there, not on Amazon, because there I'm going to give you $132 in bonuses. So you can buy it on Amazon, and we just hit #1 this weekend on Amazon, or you can hit up drivesalesbook.com.
All right, we got it, my man. Well, let's have you. I know you got a PowerPoint, so let's get all fancy smancy and start sharing that with everyone here as you just really just dive into it. I'll keep my mouth shut every so often. I know you've seen the movie Catch Me If You Can with Leonardo DiCaprio, where he's basically becomes anything and everything. And when he doesn't know what he's talking about, he just says, I concur. So I may throw in a couple of I concurs, but we got your PowerPoint up here ready to go. And I'm excited I've got my pen right here. I've got my notebook right here, and I'm ready to take some notes, my man.
Awesome. Well, thank you. For those of you who are listening at home, I'm hoping that you're able to actually watch the screen, because the screen is where we're going to do a lot of visual representation. You're going to want to be able to see that. So it's all about the predictability of sales, and the best way to experience that is I want you to pick a number between 1 and 10. And Rob, I'm getting feedback. You might want to turn yours on mute. There we go.
Yeah.
Perfect. Pick a number between 1 and 10. I'll think of a number between 1 and 10. Double that number. Add 6 to that number. Simple math. Half that number. Now subtract your original number. On the count of 2, say your number. 1, 2, 3. If you did that accurately, every single person on this call, on the screen, hearing this, all got number 3. Why? It's a simple math trick. You do that, no matter what number you start with, you always end on 3. Sales are no different. It's stacking the sales odds in your favor. When you understand what truly drives human behavior, when you understand there's 5 buying personalities, you're able to stack that in a way that will best serve you, and more importantly, best serve your audience. Easiest way to experience this is a great story of 2 friends who went for a drive, Walter and Arthur. Walter pulled up. He's got this beautiful land. He says, you know, Arthur, I bought this land. I want you to buy the surrounding property, because right here, I'm going to build my dream, and the world is going to come to my dream. And Arthur looked around and said, my friend's lost his mind. No one's going to come here. We're 25 miles from a freeway. Nobody's coming out here. Walter kept pushing, no, you got to invest. It's going to change the world. I have this vision, this idea. A lot of it's like us when we're pitching our concept, our idea, our message to other people, the resistance comes up. So Arthur, the resistance there. No, I'm not. I just can't do it. It's not the right time. Don't have the right money. And 1 year later, Walt Disney opened up Disneyland, and Art Linkletter had the rights to buy all the surrounding property. Now, interesting enough, the Fujisai family from Japan saw what was happening. They bought 56 acres for $2,500. In 1999, they sold it back to the Disney Corporation for just under $100 million. So whose fault is it that Art didn't buy the property? Is it Walt or Art? I believe it's Walt's fault. Now, yes, personal responsibility, it's all on Art. But at the end of the day, Walt did not speak a language that his best friend would understand. So it is with us. So I'm driven to understand what drives buying behavior. And in this process of 15 years, interviewing over 2,500 people, reading over 2,000 biographies, and writing 42 books, I discovered what I call the D.R.I.V.E assessment. It's very easy. It's super fun. What we're going to do is I want you to read each of these boxes, the D, the R, the I, the V, the E. Read those words, then read them a second time and rank them based on which card has the most amount of words that makes you feel important, not what's important to you. So for example, family and friends or family and work might be important to you, but work and family may not make you feel important. It's that emotion where you feel on top of the world. You feel connected to who you are and what you're doing. So we're going to take about a 2-minute pause. I'm not going to say anything. Read the cards and on a scratch piece of paper. And if you're playing along, please, in the comments, write your initials, the D, the R, the I, the V, the E. It is really fun to see the whole group, what everyone's drive is. So go ahead, read them all, rank them based off what makes you feel the most important.
Remember, there is no right or wrong answer at all.
No, it's personal preference. It's like food. If you like Italian or you like American or Chinese, it does not matter. There's no right or wrong.
I feel like I should be playing music.
I've got a little timer going. We'll let it go for about 2 minutes so everyone can do it.
If you guys are just watching, figure out which ones you identify the most with. Write them down. We're giving everybody a little bit of time here, having some fun.
Great. I see you guys are already putting that in the comments. Fantastic. Just go ahead and put in your initials, the D, the R, the I, the V, the E. And at the end, Rob, I'm going to have you say what yours are just so that they can play along and see how you have changed their life based on your drive.
All right. I have it already typed, ready to hit enter. Should I wait?
Yeah, let's wait till the very end.
Okay.
Give about 1 more minute. All right, let's wrap it up. Rob, go ahead and throw yours down. And for everyone else who's playing along, go ahead and put yours in there. We'll see Rob's come up.
So there we go. R-E.
R-E. Remember R-E, and I'll come back to you. I'm going to explain to you what all these mean. So if you chose the D, which is that green card, that is director. Directors are motivated by enhancing their lifestyle. They want a clear vision of financial and time freedom, and they want a VIP experience. I am a director. Relators, they are all about community, consulting with others, having a family influence, giving back. That is Rob to a T. This man is all community, driven by heart, gives, like he always says that he's a recovering people person. I'll be honest, he's never recovered. He's always constantly pleasing people. I reach out to him all the time. I'll get into my story about how he has changed my life in a second. If you chose I, that's about intellectual. It's all about the system. They want the details, the back office, step-by-step actions on how to succeed. They want to enhance their intelligence and their expertise. If you chose V, that is for validator. They want to be admired. The great thing about validators is they're also phenomenal cheerleaders, meaning they are the one who will be your 4 a.m. friend. They'll be out there picking you up at the airport when nobody else will. When you're down on your luck, they will lift you up. They focus on attention and focus. They want to know what product's going to make them look better, and they want to highlight their accomplishments. Executive, that's the E. They want proof. They're the show me the money. They want proof that it works. They want third-party testimonials. They are focused on the big picture. So they're looking at someone like, I want to know it's going to be X, Y, and Z. They want to win. They want to have control. So I'm going to read this paragraph to you. If you are a director, I want you to close your eyes. I want you to feel it in your heart. Like, does this resonate with you? And when I read this, if this is your drive, go ahead and put a yes in the comments. Let's see how many this resonates with. So once again, I'm a director. If you're a director, go ahead and close your eyes. They enjoy a good challenge and love to feel free and independent. They thrive on being creative and discovering new things and experiencing life. They are great in social settings, putting together a variety of people and making something happen. They find joy in overcoming their obstacles and making a difference in the world. So if you're a director, go ahead and open your eyes, hit me up with a yes on that. For my relators, go ahead and close your eyes. They know how to build a strong, long-term, healthy relationship. In the workplace, their strength is in networking and building other people up to a higher level of productivity. They garner their energy and security through their relationships. They're loyal to their friends and are service-minded. So if that's a yes, hit that in the comments. For my intellectuals, go ahead and close your eyes. They are stimulated intellectually, either through books, speeches, research, conversations, or organization. Success comes when they accomplish a task. They'd rather be learning something new than just lying around. They are driven to understand and be more knowledgeable. They like to share what they know with others. So if that is you, go ahead and hit us with a yes. Validators, they enjoy intimate small groups of people where they're being validated. Often they are wonderful at giving validation to others. Their confidence stems from the strength of their relationships. If they feel like they are in a healthy, caring, and trusted relationship, they feel strong, secure, and loved. If that's yours, go ahead and hit us with a yes. Lastly is the executives. All about proof. Go ahead and close your eyes. They are productive and thrive on getting the job done. Task-oriented and focused on getting results. They do not like small talk and would prefer tackling a project rather than sitting around wasting time. They are happiest when they are pursuing or achieving a desired goal. So if that's you, go ahead and hit us with a yes. So here's a quick snapshot. Take a picture of this with your phone, or this is a recording, you can come back to it. Directors want lifestyle. Relators want community. Intellectuals want a system. Validators want to be admired, and executives want proof. So as I'm looking at the comment section, literally every one of these is a yes. Do you understand how profound that is? Within 5 or 10 minutes of this little speech that we've gone through, you've seen that everybody on here represents a certain drive, and it resonates with them emotionally. They connect with it very personally. We all do. So that's our buying language. That's how we want to communicate with other people. So let's look at this in the real world. Shark Tank. You've got Robert. He's all director, lifestyle, cars, houses, the plane. He's on Dancing with the Stars, ended up marrying his dancing partner from Dancing with the Stars. He wants lifestyle. I want to be very clear here for directors. If you're a director and you're like, but Woody, I like to go camping. I like being outdoors. I don't care about mansions and cars. It doesn't matter about the materialism. It's about the lifestyle. What kind of life do you want? That's what motivates a director. We look at Lori. She's all about community. If you've ever watched the Shark Tank, there are so many times she'll say no to someone. They'll break down in tears and she'll say, you know what? I don't really care that much about your product, but I believe in you. I believe you're a diamond in the rough. Let's make you successful. And she will literally jump back in. Damon John, he is the intellectual. He's all about systems. He's the first to say, where's the manufacturing? Who's doing your distribution? How is it coming in and out of the country? He wants to know what systems are you using to get your product to the masses. Mark Cuban, he's the validator. He's the life of the party. If nobody gets a deal in a tank, he's the first one to say, hey, you know what? Don't worry. Hang in there. I failed for a couple of years. You're going to make it. As a validator, he is phenomenal at validating others. Kevin O'Leary, I love him. He's executive about proof. He'll always say, show me your numbers. And if your numbers are bad, he'll say, you're dead to me. Leave. If I'll never think of you again, but you'll think of me every night. He's all about, he wants that proof, the numbers on how it works. So once again, directors want a lifestyle, relators want community, intellectuals want a system, validators want to be admired, and executives want proof. 20-80 rule, you're going to want to write this one down. We lose 80% of our sales based on our drive. Meaning when we open our mouth, we speak our drive language, we're accidentally alienating the other 4. So look at Walt Disney. He's a director. He's all about lifestyle. And Rob was right. We sold everything last year to go travel the world, to just live on our own and be gypsies. Because of COVID, we got trapped in Florida, and we chose a house literally 9 minutes from Disney World. It's one exit away. I go 2-3 times a week. I love it because as a director, I resonate with it. When you go to Disney World or you go to Disneyland, when you walk down Main Street, it's a spoke. It goes off to Frontierland, Tomorrowland, Toontown, now Galaxy Far, Far Away. What Walt did with Disneyland was he developed it based on his drive, trying to give other people a lifestyle experience. But when he was pitching to his best friend Art Linkletter, Art was a validator. He had his own TV show. He had his own radio show. He had that show, Kids Say the Darndest Things. It didn't resonate with him, so he passed on the opportunity. So when directors are speaking, they only speak the director language, relators, intellectuals, validators, and executives. And what happens is we accidentally, inadvertently, sadly, offend everybody else. I'm going to show you how to change all that and tweak it so you'll be able to do it. So let's take it into the Shark Tank once again, the 20-80 rule. So you look at the 20-80 rule, most people never close more than 20%, and the sharks have never been closed more than 20%. So Robert, being a lifestyle guy, director, he's been pitched 511 times, but he's only done 57 deals, which is 57%. In business, you hear this quote all the time: put your money where your mouth is. So I did some more research. His largest deal was $5 million into Zips Pollution Motors, or Zero Pollution Motors, for a 50% stake of their business. A car company that runs on compressed air. Think of the smart car running on a compressed air. He wants to increase people's lifestyle. So that's where he put his largest investment. Lori, once again, still 20% closing ratio, 31 pitches, only 61 deals. Her largest investment was $600,000 into Ruffle Butts. Now I had to Google that. I wasn't sure what it was. It's a child's clothing line. So you think about kids are our future. Where's she going to put her money? Into children. Damon John, he's been pitched 407 times, only 15% closing ratio. His largest investment, and he actually had 3 at the same price. All of them are very technical based companies. So this one was Hells Bells Helmets. Think about manufacturing a helmet. You've got DOT government approval. You want an intellectual. You want someone in that space who's going to be very methodical on how you manufacture a helmet to protect your brain. Mark Cuban, he's been pitched 443 times, but he's done he's been closed 19% of the time. He, however, has done the most amount of deals. So I put this in green. He's done 85 deals. Why? As a validator, he wants to support the most people. So that's why he's done the most deals. His was a $2 million investment into 1031 Productions. Had to Google that, didn't know what it was. It's a party company. So Mr. Validator, Mr. Life of the Party, wanted to be a party man. He bought a party company. I thought it was hysterical. Then Kevin O'Leary, he's been pitched the most amount of times, but has done the least amount of deals. Once again, why? As an executive, he's looking for proof. He wants tangible proof that it's going to work. So he's only been closed 8% of the time. His largest investment, $2.5 million into Zips. Zips is the company that has the wine glass and the film that you peel off for individual wine glasses. When you think what's the most profitable company in history or industry, it's got to be liquor and spirits. So that's where he put his largest investment. So when you understand the drive sales system, what that tells you is you're able to learn all 5 buying languages, which gives you the potential of increasing your sales by 400%. Has anyone ever closed all the sharks at once? Yes, they did it in season 5, episode 2. Charles Michael Yim. He had this very simple device you hooked up to your phone called breathometer. You'd blow into it. It would tell you whether or not you're intoxicated. So whether you should get an Uber or a Lyft to get home. Not a super sexy product, but a very needed product in the industry. So when he started pitching it, he was looking for a $250,000 investment for a 10% stake. However, he was so brilliant when he started talking to each of the individual investors and sharks, he answered them based on their individual drive. Well, what did that do for his offer? They started fighting, literally fighting, and Mr. Executive, Mr. Wonderful said, hey, stop. We're not going to make him rich. They literally sent him out of the room. They negotiated amongst themselves, and they came back with this offer. We'll give you $1 million. So he went in with 250 grand. He got $1 million, a 400% increase on his ask, simply because he was asking and answering the sharks based on their drive and not his. Now, he did this subconsciously. Imagine what you could do consciously. So that 20/80 rule takes you from only closing potentially 20% to the potential of speaking all the languages and having a much higher closing ratio. But at the end of the day, what is at the root of all sales? And the very core, like I like to break things down. I don't consider myself a very intelligent person. I've read a lot, I study, but at the end of the day, I'm a very simple human being, and I want to know what is at the root of everything. So I broke it down at the root of all sales is one thing. Drew Carey, it's not Drew Carey. He's not the root of all things, but I'm getting to that. So the Drew Carey show in the 90s had 9 seasons. Episodes were 233, very significant. Simultaneously, he was also doing Whose Line Is It Anyways? Another 9 seasons, 219 episodes. Gave him a net worth of $165 million. So he was retired. He was done. He did a couple like pet projects on the side. But one day his manager called him and said, Drew, the guys at CBS, they're going to replace Bob Barker for The Price is Right, and they want you to come in and audition. And Drew said, are you kidding me? I'm not going to do no, Price is Right. That's like an old man show. Not going to do it. A couple months go by. He calls again. Drew, please. I mean, it's Hollywood. Everything here is based on relationships. Will you please just come in and just audition? All right, fine. I'll go in. So he goes in. He auditions for The Price is Right. And you know body language. He's folding his arms. He's looking left, right. He's looking up and down. He's like, rolling his eyes like, oh, come on. Like, really, let's get through this. At the very end, the producer said, Drew, what do you love to do? Hitting that passion. Like, what are you most passionate about? What do you love to do? I love to give big tips. Well, on The Price is Right, Drew, you get to give big tips every day. What that did in his brain is what I call a reassociation. Write that word down, reassociation. It is the root of all sales. He changed the way that Drew thought about The Price is Right. All of a sudden, Drew now can get his life's mission done by giving big tips, by giving away cars and money and campers and dishwashers to people totally for free every single day. And that moment, he's like, man, I'm all in. So behavior will not change until a reassociation occurs. Another way to say that, the sale will not occur until the reassociation occurs. So let's break that down. Drew has a belief. The Price is Right is an old man show. So you're pitching your product, your service, your message to somebody. They have a stuck belief. The reassociation came when the executive producer said, Drew, what do you love to do? In my book, I have this whole thing about ask, don't tell. So this was an ask. He asked him, what do you love to do? Well, I love to give big tips. So the reassociation is relabeling what the brain already believes. So the producer said, you know what? You get to give big tips every day on The Price is Right. In that moment, boom, Drew's like, I'm all in. Let's do this thing. All marketing is nothing more or less than a reassociation. Every ad ever made, if it was done properly, was a reassociation. Play along. Diamonds R.A., girl's best friend. It was the De Beers company who partnered with Marilyn Monroe. The song that they did, everything they did for their marketing campaign was a reassociation. A diamond is forever. Also the De Beers company creating that marketing message. In fact, if I asked you how much salary should one pay for the engagement ring, most of you can say, well, it's 2 months salary. Also from De Beers. All marketing is nothing more or less than a reassociation. 1980s, where's the beef? That simple question increased Wendy's revenue by a whopping 31%. What's fascinating about Wendy's, they didn't have more or less meat. What they had was a square patty on a round bun. So when you open it up, you saw the corners sticking out around there's the beef. Could have had the exact same amount of meat as a Whopper or a Big Mac, but visually you see, that's the beef. I got to go to Wendy's. The breakfast of champions. Let's be honest, there's not a champion in the world who's going into the Olympics saying, you know what, I need to have my bowl of Wheaties today. That stuff's like compressed sawdust and sugar. It's nasty, but it's the reassociation. They pay to have an athlete on the cover. They think, I need to be a champion. M&Ms, melt in your mouth, not in your hand. Another simple reassociation. So when you think about the reassociation, it's got to be what's in it for me, meaning your customer. That question is what's in it for them. Your product obviously has great benefits. Your service obviously helps people, otherwise it wouldn't exist. But is it specific to meeting their drive? Go ahead and write this down or take a picture of it. The sale will not happen until a reassociation occurs. So when I'm meeting with a company, an individual, talking to someone, when Rob and I sat down going through his book, all I ever look for is, how do I create a reassociation? There's two techniques. They're in the book. One is called ask, don't tell. The other one is show, don't tell. But when you really get into understanding how to ask the right questions, you can take your beautiful product, your beautiful service, and serve that client the way they want to be served. So think of it this way. You get compensated in direct proportion to the problems you solve. Michael Jordan, he was Rookie of the Year, 6-time Final MVP, 9-time All-Defensive, 11-time All-NBA, 14-time All-Star, played in 1,078 games, scored 32,292 points, has 6 champion rings, and in his 15 year has a career earnings of only $90 million. So why do I say only $90 million? Because in 2019, Nike paid him $134 million in royalties alone. He made 1.5 times in 1 year than what he did beating up his body for 15 years. Why would any company pay him that much money? Very simply, he is 10% of the Nike brand. His Air Jordan brand is $3.2 billion. So he gets a percentage of that in royalties. He is solving a $3.2 billion problem every year and therefore is being compensated. His career earnings were only $90 million, but his corporate sponsors have paid him $1.7 billion because he's solving problems for those companies. Sarah Blakely, who invented Spanx, started with only $5,000 out of her garage, has sold over 2 million pairs. She's selling millions of pairs a year because it solves a problem for men and women who want to tighten up their physique for special meetings, dates, for weddings, you name it, we're all wearing them. She now has a net worth of over $1 billion. So what problems do your products or services solve? And this is going to be some homework for you, and I want you to really think about this. Let's look at each drive. So directors, these are their specific challenges. And so if you are a director, once again, hit us up on the chat. I want to see if this resonates with you. This is for me. I'm a director. They don't feel free and independent. So think about when you're having a tough time, when you're looking to solve a problem. They don't feel free and independent. They're not pursuing their life's purpose. They're not experiencing the life they want. So that's exactly how I feel. If you're a director, when you're facing your challenges, do you feel that way? Hit us up in the comments on whether it's a yes or no. So relator, here's their challenges. They feel insecure in their relationships. They don't have the influence they want, and they're exhausted from giving too much. They're over serving, they're over caring, they're over giving. This is what Rob does all the time. He takes care of all of us so much. I text him at midnight. I text him crazy hours like, hey, I'm having this one problem. What do you think about this and that? He answers every time. And not just slightly answers, he gives answers. Intellectuals, your challenges are you can't find the information that you need. You have what we call paralysis by analysis. You get stuck. You have so much information, it's hard to make the right decision. And you get frustrated when you don't feel that you are organized. Validators, your challenges come from exhausted from serving too many people on your team. You feel disrespected from the people you care about, and you feel unrecognized for your contribution. Once again, if these are resonating with you, if this is your drive, please hit us on yes. And not just for me, I want everybody else to see, oh, this is why I need to speak to their language. And executive, you feel like you are not in control. Doesn't feel like you're on a winning in your life or your business or your relationships, and you feel overwhelmed from having too many goals. So executives are always pushing to go to that next level, that next level. When they can't, they feel frustrated. So when I was writing the book, I had this opportunity to interview Ron Fine. He's the inventor of the magnetic strip on the back of your credit card. He said, Woody, I don't sell ideas, I sell benefits. And that really resonated with me. I'm like, wait a minute, we don't sell ideas, we're selling the benefits to someone's drive being met. So when you're selling to a director, here are the benefits of your product. They have to resonate with a director. So does your product have a wow factor? Directors like that bright, shiny object. Is it visually stimulating? Does it make their life engaging? Does it make them feel free and independent? Does it make them feel creative? If it does, they're going to be more inclined to buy. When you're selling to a relator, does your product support their community? Not just them. If they're buying a software, a product, a service, they want to use it to help other people as well as themselves. Does it connect them to their loved ones? Will it make them look like a leader in their community? When you're selling to an intellectual, does your product have a clear step-by-step instructions on how to be successful? Does it save them time or money? Does it make their life easier? With selling to a validator, does your product make your client look like a rock star? Will it bring them positive attention from people? And does it help them serve their teams? If it does, you'll have no problem selling to a validator. When selling to an executive, does your product or service give your client more control? Does it help them win? Does it make their goals easier to achieve? If it does, you have no problem selling to an executive because we want more of what we want. Think about drive plus the benefits of your product equals the sell. If someone came to me and said, Woody, I know you love to travel. I know you have sold everything you have to go around the world. I have this product or service that will help you do X, Y, or Z to achieve that. I'm buying it all day, every day. Years ago, we had bought this house. We renovated it. We changed it. It was going to be our dream home, our forever home. We redid the backyard. We put a beach in the backyard, though we were living in Utah. And I had this one beautiful concrete slab, 20 feet by 10 feet. I wanted a huge spa, like swim spa. And I was ready to buy it. I had it, the electricity hooked up. I had the night lights. I had everything, the music. I had everything. Family and I would go down to the hot tub store, go in there, start talking to this gentleman, and he was an intellectual. So an intellectual is all about systems and intelligence. So he literally started telling me about the PSI, the pounds per square inch of the air that comes through the jets. He took the hot tub apart, showed me the filters, showed me where everything was, how it worked, the systems of the hot tub. Never once did he ask me, Woody, why do you want a hot tub? And then sell me based off that answer. I literally ended up leaving. I was so frustrated. I was there. I was ready to pay cash. I was going to buy my dream hot tub. I walked away from my dream because the experience was so violating my drive. I couldn't tolerate being there, and I couldn't tolerate him getting the commission. So when you start to sell people, sell them, and I even like to change the word sell, when you serve them. When you serve them based on their drive, they are far more inclined to buy from you because you are helping their needs and not your own. In the book, there's chapter 8. I love this chapter. It's called Niches to Riches. Customizing ads based on drive. I've done a ton of case studies on Facebook, on LinkedIn, where we have literally helped people get 200 to 300 to 400% increase in ad revenue because customizing the ads. Nature Made has a great ad. Individuals lose sleep each night, costing them $350,000 of lost wages over their lifetime. Get sleep, get melatonin. Now, melatonin is just a sleep aid. It's for every drive, but this one was targeted specifically to executives. They had another one targeted to intellectuals. Pharmacists recommended dietary supplement, USP approved, all that very official. They have a beautiful person with a lab coat on saying that this is intelligent, this is smart. The other one they have is for a prenatal vitamin. Once again, no matter what your drive is, if you're pregnant, you need a prenatal vitamin. However, they targeted all about relators and validators and showing people coming together to celebrate that secret baby reveal. Well, when they started to niche these, how did it affect their sales? Took them for a first time over $1 billion. Been around a long time. It wasn't until they niched it to rich it to really get specific on which drives they were targeting. So in closing, I want to go to a Q&A and answer any questions you have. Oftentimes we hear the golden rule, do unto others the way you would want to be done unto. That is completely selfish, by the way. The platinum rule, do unto others the way they would want to be done unto. So in essence, sell them and serve them based on their drive and not yours. So I know I mentioned the book. I am not selling anything here today. I'm not asking you guys to sign up for anything, but if you are interested, if you want to get the book, it's at drivesalesbook.com. There you'll get a bunch of bonuses. You get the ebook, the Audible, a 25-minute training, very similar to the one we just did here that you can share with your team members, help them to understand their drive. It's all on video. It's beautiful. You can buy one book for yourself, get a discount if you buy 3 and a discount if you buy 10 so that you can help everybody on your team understand their drive, help them potentially increase their sales by 400%. And it's drivesalesbook.com or hit my Facebook group at Drive Sales System. So Rob, my brother, I'm going to turn this back to you. I'm going to stop sharing and give us some Q&A and answer any questions that we have for everybody and see how we might serve the audience.
Well, I love it because, I mean, one, I've been able to see this firsthand. It's been your baby and how long you've worked on it and how many different case studies. And you thought your book was done for about a year now, right?
I have redone this thing so many times. I finally am like, okay, we're launching this thing no matter what.
Yeah. And we saw it. I mean, why don't you just share this real quickly? We only have a couple minutes, but I really want people to share this because I've seen it. I know several others on here have seen it. They've commented in the chat. Why don't you just share when we were in Australia how, and I know you share part of this a little bit in the book, but I want them to hear from you. And all of you need to get this book. This book is something that it won't just change your business. It will change your life. It'll help you to understand yourself, but also understand how to better communicate with others, which we know communication is everything, makes and breaks marriages. It causes and prevents wars. I mean, it's everything. So this book will not just change your business. It will change your life. But why don't you tell them real quickly in finishing, I want you to share a little bit of Australia, what we went through and what happened there with Fraser and myself.
So this was awesome. So you guys all know Rob is a rock star and Fraser Brooks is a rock star. And Rob invited me to basically secretly audition for Fraser because Fraser was going to do an event in the UK. I'm like, all right, I'll come. I'll pay my own way, whatever it takes. I just want to come audition. Now, I already knew that Rob was what we call a relator executive. And remember, executives want proof. They want to know something works. Rob and I have been dear friends for a long time. He knows it works, but I need to physically prove it to his audience. So I make my living from selling from stage. And so I thought, you know what? I'm not going to sell my product. I'm there to serve. I'm there to create value. So I did my spiel, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. People said, hey, can we have another day of Woody and Drive? Great. I thought I need to sell their coaching, not my own, to prove for an executive that it works and also audition for Fraser. So I got up there, did Drive again. I said, okay, and I called it out. I said, I'm going to sell the living daylights out of this entire room specific to your Drive. And I jumped off the stage, got up on a chair and on the table. I said, all right, for you directors. And I just pitched their coaching specific to a director, how it's going to enhance their lifestyle, make them feel creative and free and independent. Then I went to a relator, how their coaching is going to increase their community, connecting their family, their friends. I went to intellectual, the system behind their coaching system. At that point, someone said, would you shut the hell up and just take my money? And everyone's laughing. I said, no, we got to keep going. And I go into validators. I said, okay, you validators, look at what they'll do for your teams and how they'll change your life and make you like a rock star. And you executives, you should have been the first ones to order because you're already sitting in this room. You already know, you already have the proof that these guys are phenomenal. And at that point, within a 24-hour period of time, we actually increased their sales 1,440%. They had 10 orders. And of course, all credit to Rob and Fraser. By the end of the weekend, they would have sold a lot more. But up to that point, they had 10. We ended up getting 144, which is a 1,440% increase, only because I spoke specifically to their drive and I asked them to participate based on their drive.
And that right there helps give you guys perspective on how he quickly used it. Now, of course, he's done it, so he understands that, but that's his whole goal is successful people just do the basics better, is to simplify everything, to simplify the process for you, to give you focus, because that's the case. If you're going to try to close someone who's an intellectual right off the bat, it's just not going to happen because they're going to need more. They're going to want more questions answered. So instead, if you realize that right away and you say, you know what, it sounds like you need some more information. It sounds like you need to know more and more about this. Let me get you that information rather than pressuring you. All of a sudden, you're speaking their language and they're so much more excited about it. So for you, that's your whole goal. That's the whole process as you're doing this and as you're making it happen. So if you end up getting this book, just put in the comments below, got it, or I got it, or whatever else, because I promise you're going to love it. I got to see a ton of early versions of it. And then the final version that I did get here and get it. And then eventually someday you're going to be able to get it where you get it signed, right? That's what you always want. That's what I want. So I'm just so excited what you're doing, what you've done, how you've put this all together, how much you've helped me. We talk probably every other day. We're texting, voice messaging, calling, random times. Just connecting, really just masterminding, because we do believe in the power of collaboration. And that's how we stay much sharper, is just continually helping each other. So Woody, I just wanted to say thank you so much for making time. I know you're crazy busy. If you do have a team and you feel like you can get a decent audience, because respect this guy's time and don't have 2 or 3 people on. He's not going to say that, but I'm going to say it. But if you do feel like you have a team and you can get a solid team on, then reach out to him. He'd be more than happy to do a training for your team and mention his book and provide value like he just did here. So Woody, my man, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you, my brother.
Love you guys. Appreciate you all so much. Do good, be good.